prices of goods. And establishment of BR 2.0 allows rakyat to invest and own shares in cooperatives. And thanks for your company. Now, the government will look into ways and means to address the rising prices of goods and will not let the people to suffer, according to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Under the previous government, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the people struggle, but the current government is looking for ways so that the people are not burdened. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri also hit out at some parties for accusing the government of not doing anything and not taking any action on the issue of the rising cost of living.
Pembangkang mengatakan bahawa semua subsidi ditamatkan pada 1 Julai. Subsidi apa yang ditamatkan? Subsidi terus kekal. Subsidi minyak masak, kita berbelanja 4 bilion ringgit untuk pastikan subsidi itu masih diterima oleh rakyat supaya minyak masak masih kekal harga RM2.50. Kalau minyak masak tidak disubsidi, harga minyak masak adalah sebanyak RM9.50 sekampit 1 kilo.
The Prime Minister said the present government is a government that will provide assistance either in terms of material or support in nurturing the spirit of unity, in finding common ground in diversity. He said this when closing the Perak Jelajah Aspirasi Keluarga Malaysia or Malaysian Family Aspiration AKM tour at the Datuk Sago Circuit, Kampung Gajah in Pasir Salak, Perak. The government views seriously the problem of leakage in the supply of subsidized cooking oil, which is said to be due to, among others, it being smuggled to the neighbouring countries. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Economy, Datuk Seri Mustafa Mohamad, said his office took a serious review of the matter with the shortage of the supply in the country. Explaining further, Datuk Seri Mustafa said discussions had been held with various parties to obtain clearer information on the issue, including with the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. He stressed that the government provides subsidy for the benefits of the locals and should not be enjoyed by foreigners.
Kita nak tahu apa keadaan sebenarnya. Bilangan yang terlibat dalam industri repackaging ni untuk menyediakan paket ini, di mana dia jual minyak ini, setakat mana berlakunya penyelundupan, dari laporan media memanglah ada penyelundupan dan memang ada tangkapan pun dari semasa ke semasa. Cuma kita nak tahu setakat mana perkara ini berlaku, betapa seriusnya, kerana kita bayar subsidi dinikmati oleh orang asing. Ini tak patut berlaku lah, kerana subsidi kosnya amat besar.
Datuk Seri Mustafa, who is also a member of the Special Task Force on Jihad Against Inflation, said the team would meet for its third meeting tomorrow with the focus on two main issues, namely shortage of subsidized cooking oil and the rising prices of essential goods. The establishment of Koperasi Rakyat BR 2.0 Malaysia Berhad or BR 2.0 is expected to open up more opportunities for the people to invest and own shares, especially those in the B40 and M40 groups. According to Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Minister Tan Sri Noh Omar, the initiative encourages the people to be involved in investment activities which have the potential to provide them with good returns.
Yang ini pun kita punya target nak buka dalam 3 bilion juga. Jadi kita harap satu hari nanti adalah koperasi yang boleh memberi selain daripada merakyat yang boleh memberikan dividen dua digit lah kepada penyimpan-penyimpannya, dan kita khusus kepada beberapa gulungan kota ni kita akan tentukan.
Tan Sri Noor also revealed that a consultant will be appointed in order to ensure that BR 2.0 achieves its objectives. BR 2.0 is a newly established cooperative entity under the Cooperatives Societies Act 1993, Act 502, and regulated by the Cooperatives Commission of Malaysia. It is expected to play a bigger role in helping to develop the cooperative sector, as well as micro, small and medium enterprises, and further contribute to the country's economic development. Crude palm oil CPO prices are not expected to fall below 4,500 ringgit a ton. Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Dato' Zuraida Kamarudin said that crude palm oil prices were expected to drop by the end of the year. But this had occurred earlier as a result of Indonesia's palm oil export ban and the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Harga sawit susut tidaklah susut jatuh sampai ke tahap 2,500 yang dulu kita memang all the time normal price 2,500. Tapi seperti saya telah jangkakan dahulu, saya kata harga sawit yang baru new norm akan jatuh ke 4,500 ke 5,000 ringgit. That is going to be the new norm. So now kita dalam fasa itu, tapi fasa ini a bit terawal. Pada saya jangkaan saya 4,500 dengan 5,000 akan terjadi ujung tahun. Tapi kerana disruption in market situation now, hari itu Indonesia pergi tahan sekejap, lepas tu Ukraine war, jadi itu mengakibatkan kita punya harga sawit ni dah mula turun, tapi tak akan go lesser than 4,500. They will not go, insyaAllah.
Crude palm oil prices have been on a downward trend recently, falling from over 6,700 ringgit a ton on 7 June to over 5,000 ringgit a ton on 22nd June, a slide of 25.3%. Malaysia Digital Initiative to be launched by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Semasa tomorrow is a clear signal to the world that Malaysia is ready to put the country at the forefront of the digital economy. Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said that countries which took the opportunity to make adjustments in terms of mechanisms and capabilities to face the new digital economy ecosystem after the COVID-19 pandemic would be at the forefront of global races and competitions.
Amatlah bertepatan bagi MDEC untuk memberikan fokus bukan saja penghargaan tetapi selanjutnya memberi fokus dengan tumpuan dan penekanan yang baru bermula daripada sekarang bagi 25 tahun yang mendatang. Adalah tepat kita melancarkan besok satu program, satu rancangan yang melambangkan iltizam dan komitmen negara kita untuk menangani dan menguasai ekosistem yang baru ini.
Malaysia Digital is an enhanced and revamped program at the country's leading digital economy agency, MDEC, succeeding MSC Malaysia, which has been in operation for 25 years. And in other news, a total of 12 police and army veterans shared their combat stories at a veteran legacy program held in conjunction with the Warriors' Day celebration this month. Through the event at Taman Tugu in Kuala Lumpur, visitors were able to ask questions regarding the veterans' previous experiences of holding weapons to protect the country. Without any strict protocols, the program was conducted in a relaxed manner, with visitors were given the freedom to ask questions to the veterans. The initiative was implemented to inculcate among the people a sense of love for the country.
Idea ini telah dimulakan oleh sahabat saya namanya Colonel Alan Lai. Saya rasa benda ini is satu yang acara yang baik kerana dalam acara ini kita akan kita bekas prajurit ni, veteran kita ni akan menceritakan sikit sejarah mereka dan apa mereka buat sebenarnya. Ini khusus untuk target sebenarnya adalah untuk generasi muda sebenarnya. Kita nakkan generasi muda tahu apa yang kita buat. Selama ini tak ada, orang tak tahu. Jadi idea ini memang bagus.
Kita ada ramai veteran, anggota polis dan sebagainya yang telah mengarang buku ataupun datang ke sini untuk menceritakan pengalaman mereka. Contohnya Dato' Paul Keong contohnya yang telah selama 6 bulan telah menyusup masuk komunis dan hidup sebagai seorang komunis untuk menentukan kekalahan mereka dan sebagainya. Dan begitu juga ramai lagi pegawai tentera dan polis yang ceritakan karier mereka, apakah kejayaan-kejayaan telah dilaksanakan dari sini.
Many visitors were of the view that more programs like the Veteran Legacy Program should be held in the future. Selangor police have arrested 1,364 mule account owners, including 436 women, statewide, for being involved in fraud syndicates between January and June this year. Selangor Police Chief Dato' Junaidi Mohamad said that 60% of the suspects have been charged in court for various offences, especially for allowing their bank accounts to be used for criminal activities. He said the majority of the mule account owners know that their actions are against the law, adding that they also knew and gave permission for the accounts and passwords to be used for monetary fraud against other people.
Ada juga yang sebahagiannya dia jual akaun dia untuk dapat keimbuhan. Okay? So mereka ni buka akaun dan akaun tu diberikan kepada syndicate ataupun scammer. So imbuhan antara 100 ke 600.
He said this after officiating the Aman Wanita squad at Taman Pengawa in Kuala Selangor today. He also said that all individuals were detained under Section 420 and 424 of the Penal Code for cheating and abetting. The syndicate, he said, generally uses the tactic of finding their targets on social media, and most of these individuals do not know the criminals who carry out such illegal activities. Dato' Junaidi also advised the public to always be vigilant and not to expose their bank accounts for account rentals, as well as not to be swayed by promises and sweet offers from unknown individuals. Police arrested 13 men on suspicion of being involved in diesel smuggling activities and seized 138,000 litres of the fuel in a raid at premises in Sungai Bau, Tanjung Belungkur near Kota Tinggi last Friday. Johor Police Chief Dato' Kamarul Zaman Mahmad said all the individuals, comprising 4 local men and 9 foreigners aged 18 and 62, were nabbed at 11 p.m. through the operation dubbed Op Bersepadu Kontraban. He said the modus operandi of the syndicate was to purchase diesel around the state before selling it to local and international markets, including foreign merchant ships, at a price of about 3 ringgit and 50 cents per litre. He added they conducted their smuggling activities every 3 days by selling diesel on the black market at a higher price. Met by reporters at the location of the raid today, he said the syndicate was detected a month ago and the premises raided was a transit point for the smuggling of subsidized diesel. Dato' Kamarul Zaman said police also seized a foreign tanker, 4 cargo tanks, 4 fuel suction pumps, 2 generators, a Toyota Vios car, and diesel worth 386,400 ringgit, all estimated to be worth 14.4 million ringgit. One of the suspects has a previous record under the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, and the case was being investigated under Section 21 of the Control of Supply Act 1961. Still ahead, Malaysian pilgrims undergo stringent health checks. Stay with us. But first, Selangor UMNO Liaison Chairman Tan Sri Nohoma welcomed a suggestion by UMNO veteran Tan Sri Muhammad Taib for heavyweight candidates to be fielded in the 15th general election, G15, in the state. Tan Sri Noh said he strongly encouraged influential young leaders to contest as they could bring new ideas to Selangor.
Saya memang menggalakkan dan beri peluang kepada golongan muda, dan kalau boleh juga ya mereka yang ada nama lah, senang kata, yang ada tahu. Macam Teguh Zafro, dia anak Selangor. Saya ingat ada seorang tokoh muda, bijak dalam segi kewangan, dan saya nampak boleh menjadi ikon di Negeri Selangor.
But apart from Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz, Tan Sri Noh said UMNO Information Chief and Youth Vice Chairman Shahril Sufian Hamdan, who is also the Prime Minister's economic advisor, is also a suitable young candidate. There have been talks that Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul would contest for the Kuala Selangor parliamentary seat, with him often seen to be going to the constituency. Tan Sri Noh was met after the Koperasi Perkhidmatan Pelajaran Nasional Berhad annual delegates meeting in Shah Alam today. There is a steep decline in the number of hand, foot and mouth disease HFMD cases in Johor for the 26th Epidemiological Week ME, according to State Health and Unity Committee Chairman Ling Tian Sun. A total of 366 cases were reported during the 26th ME, compared with over 1,000 cases during Week 21. The peak of the HFMD in Johor was on the 21st ME, when 1,503 cases were recorded. However, Ling said the number has dropped significantly to only 366 cases.
Pendekatan yang berkesan bersama dengan masyarakat, khususnya stakeholder mereka, bekerjasama dengan mungkin Taska, Tabika, Tadika ataupun sekolah-sekolah rendah untuk mengadakan kesedaran mereka supaya masing-masing menjaga SOP yang telah ditetapkan. Kalau berbanding dengan negeri-negeri lain, Johor telah mencatatkan satu rekod yang baiklah.
He said this during the state-level launch of My Champion at Dewan Tunku Ibrahim Ismail in Kluang today. Also present was Johor Health Director, Dato Dr. Aman Rabu. Lembaga Tabung Haji TH stressed that all prospective Malaysian Hajj pilgrims have undergone stringent health checks in accordance with the set standards before leaving for the Holy Land. Malaysian Hajj delegation head Datuk Sri Syed Saleh Syed Abdul Rahman said each prospective pilgrim is also required to be examined by authorized doctors and clinics. Elaborating further, Datuk Sri Syed Saleh said the efforts are being carried out with the Health Ministry to ensure all prospective pilgrims have good health and meet the requirements set by the Saudi Arabian government. He noted that the health check is also more stringent, in line with the regulations imposed by the Saudi Arabian government and the Health Ministry. According to Datuk Sri Syed Saleh, since the arrival of Malaysian pilgrims on 4 June, only conditions such as respiratory and skin problems, as well as muscle cramps, were referred to 3 medical centres provided by TH.
Seorang yang sihat walaupun di Malaysia dalam suasana yang terkawal juga boleh terdedah dan juga terkesan dengan pelbagai penyakit, apatah lagi mereka ini jemaah haji kita yang datang daripada Malaysia ke Tanah Suci ini terdedah pada cuaca yang panas, terdedah kepada suasana sesak yang daripada pelbagai negara, jemaah haji daripada pelbagai negara yang datang ke sini yang kemungkinan juga membawa pelbagai penyakit. Dan dengan itu saya rasa bahawa mereka telah pun sudah tentunya akan terkesan sedikit sebanyak.
Coming up in foreign segment, Russia, Ukraine both claim control over Lysychansk in Luhansk. Stay with us. But first, thousands of residents were ordered to evacuate southwest Sydney, Australia's biggest city, today with torrential rain and damaging winds pounding the east coast and floods expected to be worse than those that hit the region in the past year. Heavy rain and overflowing dams and rivers all combined to threaten flash floods and landslides along the east coast from Newcastle down to Batemans Bay in New South Wales state, and rain was expected to intensify later tonight.
So we want the community to be aware of their risk. As stated by the Bureau, we're anticipating that these levels will rise above the last 18 months of flood levels. So it is important to not expect that if you survived and if your house survived and didn't get wet on the last occasion, or your buildings, that you need to rethink that strategy. Just because it got to the front doorstep on the last floods doesn't mean that it won't escalate overnight.
Camden in southwest Sydney was underwater, and the Weather Bureau predicted water levels in the areas of North Richmond and Windsor northwest of Sydney would peak at higher levels than in the past 3 major flood events since March 2021. The body of a man who fell out of a kayak was pulled out of Sydney Harbour, police said, adding that the circumstances were under investigation but appeared to be due to the windy conditions. Russian armed forces claimed that they had encircled the strategic city of Lysychansk in the Luhansk People's Republic, while Ukraine said it still has control over the city and that fighting is continuing there. According to Luhansk militia forces, Russian troops and Luhansk militia members entered the center of Lysychansk, with video footage showing the city's administrative building under the control of Russian and Luhansk militia forces. Sources cited by Russia's state news agency TASS also said that the Russian military and Luhansk militia forces had already controlled all major strategic positions around Lysychansk and completely encircled the city. However, a Ukrainian military spokesperson on the day rejected the encirclement of Lysychansk in an interview, claiming the city is still under Ukrainian control and that intense fighting is going on around the city. Meanwhile, according to the latest information by the Russian Defense Ministry, the Russian forces had eliminated a new batch of Ukrainian command posts and military equipment facilities, including equipment and ammunition depots. On the same day, Ukraine's national news agency, citing the Ukrainian military, said that as of yesterday, Luhansk, Donetsk, Chernihiv, Kharkov, Mykolaiv and Kherson had all suffered attacks from the Russian armed forces in the last 24 hours. And in sports, Axelsen outclasses Momota to clinch Made in Malaysia Open title. Stay with us. We begin our sports segment with updates on the Malaysia Open. The world #1 men's singles shuttler Victor Axelsen of Denmark was in a class of his own when he thrashed Japan's Kento Momota today to clinch the title. Playing before a crowd of 10,000, Axelsen overwhelmed world #2 Momota with his attacking play to storm to a 21-4 win in the opening game. The second game was no different, as the 2020 Tokyo Olympic champion Axelsen displayed another dominating performance with a 21-7 win to lift his third consecutive Badminton World Federation BWF World Tour title. He had won the Indonesian Open and Masters prior to playing in this tournament. His feat also ended a 15-year Asian domination in the men's singles category of the tournament. The last non-Asian to win the men's singles title was another Danish shuttler, Peter Gale, in 2007. After that, former national ace Dato' Lee Chong-wei won the title 9 times, including 7 consecutive wins from 2008 to 2014, while Chinese stars Chen Long 2015 and Lin Dan 2017-2019 also tasted victories. Yesterday, Axelsen defeated world #8 Jonathan Christie of Indonesia 21-15, 20-22, 21-11 after battling for 1 hour and 11 minutes, while Momota ousted Kunlavit Vititsan of Thailand 21-11, 21-12 in the semi-finals. Elsewhere, Thailand's Ratchanok Intanon clinched a second Malaysia Open title by stunning 2020 Tokyo Olympics gold medalist Chen Yufei of China in the women's singles final, which lasted over an hour. The 2013 world champion Ratchanok took the opening game 21-15, but the 24-year-old Yufei won the second 21-13. Ratchanok, 27, raced to a 10-1 lead in the decider, but the Chinese shuttler narrowed the gap to 10-14. However, the 2016 champion Ratchanok kept her cool to win 21-16 and clinch the title. The win is Ratchanok's third against Yufei in 18 meetings and also her first World Tour title since winning the Indonesia Masters in January 2020. Meanwhile, Indonesia's Apriyani Rahayu Siti Fadia Silva Ramadanti achieved a commendable feat by winning the Malaysia Open title in just their third Open tournament as a pair after beating China's Zhang Shuxian Zheng Yu in a thrilling women's doubles final. The world 133rd ranked Indonesians oozed class in the opening game with a 21-18 win, but failed to maintain their momentum in the second, losing 12-21. After trailing 4-7 in the decider, Apriyanti Sitifadia stomped back to lead 13-12 before romping home to a 21-19 victory. In mixed doubles, second seed Zheng Siwei Hua Yaqiong of China scored a hat-trick in the Malaysia Open by trouncing top seeds Dejapol Puara Nukroh, Sapsiri Terat Tanachai from Thailand in the final. Siwei Yaqiong were in cruise control in the opening game as they beat the reigning world champions 21-13. The Chinese pair then sealed the title with a 21-18 win in the second game. This is Siwei Yaqiong's fifth straight crown after winning the Badminton Asia Championships in Manila in May this year, when they beat compatriots Wang Liyu, Huang Dongping 21-17, 21-8. National high jumper Navraj Singh Randhawa has the opportunity to make a name for himself after booking his ticket to the 2022 World Athletics Championships in Oregon in the US from 15 to 24 July. This was confirmed by the National Athletics Squad head coach Muhammad Manshaha Abdul Jalil, who said that Navraj qualified after the 30-year-old athlete secured a place in the top 32 of the world rankings. Muhammad Manshaha said in Oregon, Navraj would have to jump at least 2.30 meters, which is his national record, to reach the final stage of the tournament, and follow in the footsteps of former national high jumper Lee Hap-wei in 2019. He urged Navraj to work harder and be more disciplined in training to improve his weaknesses to enable him to advance to the finals. Oregon will be Navraj's second appearance at the World Championships after London in August 2017, and he is scheduled to start the qualifying round on 15 July and the final is scheduled for 17 July. At the 2019 World Championships in Doha, Qatar, Hap-wei made history by becoming the first Malaysian athlete to advance to the finals of the prestigious tournament since being introduced in 1938 by the International Athletics Federation IAAF. Hap-wei made a jump of 2.29 meters in the qualifying round before finishing the final in 8th place out of a total of 12 athletes with a jump of 2.27 meters. Australian Nick Kyrgios knocked out fourth seed Stefanos Tsitsipas in Wimbledon third round slugfest yesterday. The 27-year-old Kyrgios produced sublime tennis to earn a 6-7, 6-4, 6-3, 7-6 victory, but the match will be remembered as one of the most bad-tempered seen at Wimbledon as both players lost their heads and received warnings. Kyrgios lost his temper with the umpire after an overruled line call at 5-all in the first set as he threatened a service break. Tsitsipas focused to win the tie-break and had a huge chance to seize control at 4-all in the second set when Kyrgios let slip the lead with two careless drop shots but saved a break point with a second serve ace. After Kyrgios had been warned for an audible obscenity, he broke the Tsitsipas serve and steal the second set with a jaw-dropping smash. Tsitsipas snapped, whacking the ball that narrowly missed the head of a fan, earning him a warning. Kyrgios ranted that Tsitsipas should have been defaulted. Tsitsipas dropped serve early in the third set, then received a point penalty for launching a ball into the scoreboard. In the next game, Kyrgios saved one set point after a short break with a soaring backhand winner, and another in the tie-break with an audacious half-volley drop shot. That concludes this evening's news at 10. In our top story, government looking into ways to address rising prices of goods. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Till then, it's lights out. I'm Brendan Opal. Salam Keluarga Malaysia and have a pleasant week.